Good news for Lefties.
Good day to you folks. Welcome to another delightful episode of Good News for Lefties, where we bring you the latest and greatest news that'll have you smiling from ear to ear. I'm Beowulf Franklin. Today, we've got a lineup of stories that are sure to tickle your progressive fancy. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into some of the news that's just too good to pass up. Our top story today, Google, the behemoth of all things search, and so many other things on top of that, has been handed a bit of a spanking by a U.S. federal judge. That's right, Alphabet's Google has been found guilty of maintaining an illegal monopoly on online search. This ruling marks the first big win for U.S. antitrust authorities who have been itching to take big tech down a peg or two. Imagine that, folks, the Goliath of the online world finally getting a taste of its own medicine. The ruling paves the way for a second trial to determine potential fixes, possibly even a breakup of Alphabet/Google itself. Wow! Oh, the sweet irony of it all. Big tech faces criticism from all sides, but today it's the left that's doing a little victory dance. Judge Amit Mehta, with the wisdom of Solomon, declared, Google is a monopolist and it has acted like one to maintain its monopoly. Google controls about 90% of the online search market and 95% on smartphones. That's a lot of power, folks, and it looks like the chickens are finally coming home to roost. Now, Google isn't taking this lying down. They plan to appeal the ruling, of course. In their words, quote, this decision recognizes that Google offers the best search engine, but concludes that we shouldn't be allowed to make it easily available. Oh, Google, you cheeky devil. But U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland called the ruling a historic win for the American people, adding, no company, no matter how large or influential, is above the law. Well said, Mr. Garland. Well said. Judge Mehta noted that Google had paid a staggering $26 billion, that's B, billion, in 2021 alone to keep its search engine as the default on smartphones and browsers. That's a lot of dough to stay on top, wouldn't you say? Google recognizes that losing these defaults would dramatically impact its bottom line. For instance, losing the Safari default would result in a significant drop in queries and billions of dollars in lost revenues. Oh, the humanity. This ruling is just the beginning, folks. It's the first major decision in a series of cases taking on alleged monopolies in big tech. So, grab your popcorn and stay tuned as this legal saga unfolds. We might be in for a show that rivals any Hollywood blockbuster. And now, a word from our sponsors. Welcome back, folks. Now let's switch gears to a story that's both heartwarming and downright inspiring. Picture this, a 56-year-old white gun-owning country boy voting for Vice President Kamala Harris. Sounds like a plot twist, doesn't it? But it's true, and it's going viral. A video of this self-proclaimed country boy, Vic Myers, has taken the internet by storm. In his video, Myers proudly declares, I'm a 56-year-old white gun-owning country boy, and if Kamala Harris thinks she can get my vote, well, she'd be right. How's that for a surprise ending? Myers, a grandfather and veteran, shares his concerns about the world we're leaving for our grandkids. He's worried about the safety and future of this country, and he's not afraid to say it. We failed to leave my kids' generation a better world, and now I'm worried not just about the kind of world we're leaving for my grandkids, but what kind of country will we leave them? Powerful words indeed. Myers has just 6 videos on his TikTok account, each starting with his signature catchphrase, I'm a 56-year-old rural gun-owning white guy. He talks about his stances on specific issues, including gun reform. In a recent video, he supports Kamala Harris's favoring of an assault weapons ban, background checks, and red flag laws. We had an assault weapon ban for 10 years. Nobody came for my guns. But after it expired, we got countless mass shootings like Sandy Hook, Parkland, Uvalde, and so many more. I'm not worried about losing my guns. I'm worried about losing a lot more if the other guy gets in. This video is a part of a larger effort to garner support for Harris from white men, including a 3-hour Zoom call titled White Dudes for Harris, with approximately 190,000 participants. It's a movement, folks, and it's gaining momentum. Now, on to our final story of the day, California's surge in immigration and its positive impact on the economy. Yes, you heard that right. Positive impact. The data overwhelmingly suggests that immigration has been a boon for both the U.S. and California economies. Since 2021, international migrants have filled vacant jobs, helped keep job creation strong, grown businesses, and pumped millions of tax dollars into state, local, and federal coffers. Payroll taxes on immigrant workers have even helped relieve pressure on the nation's embattled Social Security system. That's good for everyone. Sure, there are short-term public costs associated with acclimating new arrivals, but the long-term benefits far outweigh these. From a budgetary perspective, the additional federal spending on immigrants pales in comparison to the increase in revenues from the millions more people working, paying taxes, and buying goods and services. Economists agree that immigrants play a large and positive role in maintaining a healthy, growing economy. Michael Clemens, an economist at George Mason University, puts it succinctly. This is the hottest labor market that has existed in 2 generations. There have never been as many opportunities for immigrants and natives to mutually benefit each other through economic interaction in the last half century. Without immigration, California's workforce would have fallen well short of its needs, especially since the high cost of living and other factors have fueled a notable outflow of population from the state. From 2021 to 2023, the population of U.S. citizens ages 16 and older living in California fell by 625,000, while employment increased by 725,000. Immigrants are not taking away American jobs. They're filling the gaps and driving economic growth. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today's episode of Good News for Lefties. We hope you enjoyed our cheerful roundup of progressive wins and heartwarming stories. Remember to stay informed, stay positive, and keep fighting the good fight. And until next time, this is your host, Beowulf Rockland. Weird name, Good News for Lefties.